everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Takedown, a Splitting Hairs podcast brought to you by Jackrabbit Illustrated. On this podcast, we focus on South Dakota State wrestling. Once again, I'm joined by my esteemed colleague and co-host, Jordon Schoenrock. He's Jordan, and I'm Chad. Today, we'll cover the results of the Southern Scuffle and speak with champion Cade DeVos. We'll also preview the Wyoming and Northern Iowa duels. So, Cade, how you doing today? Thanks for being on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. I'm doing pretty good. So just got done with practice. So
yeah, how'd that go for you?
Good. I wrestled with Bergie, so he's always tough. So he teaches me a lot. So it was good practice.
Right on. Bergie's been a big ad, right?
Oh yeah, huge. Yep.
He's about how big is he right now? I mean, as far as
he's around 165 right now.
So a little smaller than you then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But quicker than you?
He's very quick. Yeah. He's deceivingly quick. Yeah, he's really quick.
Right on.
Well,
go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, go ahead. You say that he's like with Bergie coming in here. Would you say that he is would you say that was kind of something with your success is having him around?
He's. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I've definitely evolved a lot more as a wrestler, and almost like a little bit. I know it's hard to see sometimes, but like he's taught me a lot of little things, especially in hand fighting and things that I'm starting to do now. And obviously, I've been working on it. He's only been here for a little while, and I've been working on it continuously every day in practice. And I'm just like, I'm now starting, well, not now, but I've been seeing better results day by day. And I think it's one of the most important things I've ever been taught in wrestling is the stuff he's showing me now. So, yeah, he's a big ad.
I would say that he probably, from talking to other wrestlers too, he's probably a huge ad for everybody. And he's one of our reasons for success here headed into this or coming out of the Southern Scuffle there, where we were 7th in team points out of 30 teams. SDSU took 16 wrestlers, 14 wrestled for SDSU, 2 were red shirts, and out of that we had 3 placers. Obviously Cade DeVos, he was a champion, and then Tanner Sloan and Clay Carlson were also placers, and they both got 4th. We'll just run through the results here quick. The only kid to not win a match out there was Trayden Anderson. He unfortunately went 0-2, but is he still just getting in the lineup here against these tough competition?
Yeah, and then we had a couple guys go 1-2: Tanner Jordon, Kenny O'Neill, Kill Swenson, Kid King, Nick Casperson, who's been wrestling real well as of late, and Bullen McConville.
And then Caleb Gross, Danny Kimball, Jack Thompson, and AJ Nevels all went 2-2.
And then 2-1, we had Alex Martin, and he had to withdraw due to injury. So,
and then with a record of 3-2, we had Zach Price.
4-1 was the one and only Clay Carlson, as we like to say, Team Grit, and also had an injury withdrawal there, unfortunately.
Tanner Sloan was at 197 pounds, still working his way back in the lineup. He went 4-2, and he came home with a 4th place finish.
And of course, we have the champion, 5-0, Cade DeVos. Cade, tell us a little bit about your tournament and what you had to do to bring that gold home.
So obviously it was a little different. I mean, thinking about that tournament was kind of thinking about Midlands. It was like when I went to Midlands my freshman year, there's really nothing on the line, and obviously like I'm getting up there in the rankings, but I think just keeping the fact that there's nothing on the line and just going out and wrestling to the best of your ability. And I know I'm up there with one of the best guys. So every match, I mean, the first match, it's always a little nerve wracking, but you start building confidence throughout the tournament. And I think just sticking to my stuff, doing the things I've been working on all practice, like I said, the specifics, the small details, and just being composed and smart in my matches. I think those are just the keys to make me win that tournament. You know what I mean? The things that will help me. So
So, I know that you've been on the show before and some stuff like that, but if we have any new listeners here, can you tell us about yourself a little bit here? What you're going to school for, where you're from, and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, so I'm from I'm from Altoona, Iowa. I went to high school at Southeast Polk. Was a 2-time state champ at Southeast Polk. Fargo champ and Greco, Fargo finalists and freestyle. And then came here, loved the place, loved the coaches, loved the team, and I'm here studying pharmacy. I'm not quite in the pharmacy program yet because I just keep getting extra years added on, which I don't care about. I love this sport, so that's fine with me. But yeah, so I'm studying pharmacy right now. I'm a freshman with the COVID year, and I wrestle 174 right now.
So what did you learn as a red shirt or pre-freshman? And what was the biggest adjustment to college from high school wrestling and as a student? What?
Yeah, so I think school. I mean, school is. I think it's it's school. It's kind of the same thing. Classes are maybe a little harder, but it's just staying on top of it. Really, just trying. You give effort, and you usually do pretty good in school. So that's that. And then wrestling was big. I mean, obviously, like, when you come into college room, I don't really care who it is. It can be the best guy. Like, they're going to take their lumps and they're going to get beat by people they thought they wouldn't get beat by in the practice room. But I think it's more of just going two ways with it. It's either you accept the reality that you're just not good enough and you keep training, working on things and working with people and using your resources, or you can, say, screw it. Like, this is where I am. I don't like wrestling or whatever. But I think the biggest thing was just chain wrestling, hand fighting. Bottom was huge. Just confidence, because it's hard. Sometimes you take your lumps and you get, you're pretty down on yourself. I had a moment like that my freshman year where I was just like, I was taking a lot of lumps and I was like, oh man, like I was 163-7 in high school. Why am I getting killed by, people that are a weight class below me in the college room? So I think
sorry,
you're good.
So you kind of go from being one of the best wrestlers in the room to being just another guy, right? I mean, in some ways.
I would say so. Yeah, I would say I went from probably being on the bottom half of the wrestlers as in practice outcome. But yeah, I think I'm definitely one of the best now. But
So, you touched on when you were just telling us about yourself a little bit there, that you are a Fargo national champion, Greco-Roman, and a finalist in freestyle and all that stuff. So, have you always been big into summer wrestling and them kind of tournaments, or did that come as you grew older into high school, getting ready for college?
So I think it's, for me, it was, I got involved as a young age, like at a young age, in freestyle and Greco. But also I like wrestling all the time, so it kind of goes hand in hand. I'm not like a guy who wants to wrestle for 5 months and then take 4 months off. I want to keep wrestling, and I think summer wrestling is probably one of the most important times to get better. You're not, you don't have a bunch of tournaments. You're not worried about competition all the time. You're just in the room practicing. And I think that's where you can make leaps and bounds, because not a lot of people are in the room in the summertime. They're doing other things. And I think it's definitely one of the most important times of the year to get better.
For our non-huge wrestling fans here, could you explain what Greco-Roman and freestyle are compared to folk style that we're all used to seeing around here?
Yeah, so freestyle, so folk style, there's takedowns, and then there's bottom and top, right? And you get out, you get an escape, and you turn people, you get, near fall. But in freestyle, it's takedowns, and then on bottom, if you get taken down on bottom, it's called parterre, and you basically lay flat for like 10 to 15 seconds, and you try not to get exposed, meaning like your back goes past 90 degrees. And if you don't get exposed in 10 to 15 seconds, they call you back up and you start wrestling on neutral again. But if you do get exposed, that's another 2 points, and it's a 10-point tech fall. So tech falls in freestyle are a lot easier. And then Greco's just freestyle basically with you cannot touch the legs at all. So that's basically what it is.
Yeah, there's some other subtle differences too, like grasping and so forth, right?
Yeah, I guess
Gut
the big one
wrenches.
too is push outs. If you go out of bounds, it's a point. Yeah, so it engages people to wrestle a lot more in the center and not stall, things like that. But
do you really prefer freestyle wrestling over Greco? Or
I prefer freestyle just because my best position is my feet, and also I like the quick exposures. You don't have to work that hard. It's I mean, you do have to work hard, but especially on a really good guy. But I just like the rule set a lot.
So I know we've covered it before, but maybe talk just a little bit about why SDSU, what brought you to Brookings, and then maybe a little bit how that's panned out compared to expectations.
Yeah. So I was recruited first by Cody. I actually remember he's like, it was at Fargo. He's like, hey, don't make any decisions yet. Like, I'll give you a call. And he called me, and I met with the coaches a few times, and obviously like Cam and Han is just one of the realest persons I know, and Cam is super like he wants me to achieve my goals just as badly as I do. And I think that's like having someone that's basically like that wants you to achieve your goals just as much as like they do. It makes this bond that really helps you excel, especially coming from a guy who's a 4-time All-American, national champion, and obviously all those coaches are super beneficial. Cody's great, and he helps me inspire, like gives me a lot of inspiration and helps me push through things. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that made me came here was the coaches. Also, like when I went on my visit, the team was super tight and everyone I liked. And to this, I mean, I thought the team was tight when I got here, and it's crazy now. Like everyone, it's a brotherhood, and it really is. You see a lot of people say that at different schools, and it's just not true. Like it's not. People are hanging out in cliques, and here it's actually a brotherhood. We do care for each other, and we do hang out with each other, and we don't exclude anyone. You know what I mean? So I think that helps a lot because at Polk it was like that when I was there, and when you guys are all close with each other, you guys all want to excel with each other. So that helps a lot.
So, excuse me. So you have all that and everything. Who was your who did you stay with for your official visit? What wrestler did you?
I was with Clay, but I hung out with like most of the guys. So, but he was my host.
So like, can you explain to us kind of what an official visit is, or like how you went with, or like what you guys did at your official visit?
Yeah. So basically, what happens is you come up. Usually your parents come up. They don't have to, but you come up. You stay with a guy. You basically look around campus, check out everything, look at the wrestling room. You go out to eat a lot. That was the good part, was I got to eat a lot. So you definitely go out to dinner a lot, go to a football game, things like that. But the thing is you get to hang around the guys, and you get to, go bowling, do other things, but you get to hang around the guys and know the team and get to know the team. And after that, you talk scholarship stuff and other important things. But yeah, that's basically what an official is.
So what would you say is one thing that you would point out as the difference maker from last year? I know you talked a little bit about hand fighting. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's something else that we haven't talked about. And it's kind of a two-part question. If you had one improvement to make from right now, what would that be and why?
Yeah. So the biggest difference maker from last year, I would say my scrambling and my hand fighting. My scrambling has gotten so much better. Like, I really did not know how to scramble. And I mean, working with Simez, he's one of the best scramblers. And I think it's just getting stingy. And I've gotten so much stingier as a wrestler. And I wrestle through all positions now. And I didn't do that so much last year. And that, that can change the tide of a match. Also, like the hand fighting, like the things I've been working on with Brady, controlling collar ties, being able to move a guy, get a guy tired, just little things. I usually would post, do a lot of thumb blocking, be on the outside, kind of reactionary wrestler. But now I've been training to be more of a, push pull, try to create angles rather than sit there and wait for them. One thing I probably need to work on is I think it's just mental with me, honestly. Like I really do keep matches closer than they have to be. And I am a really good wrestler, and I know that, and I think I can go out there and put up more points than I have. And I think it's more just trusting my attacks, trusting my training, and just going out there and wrestling with maximum effort, not worrying about the outcome. But yeah.
You didn't touch at all on the moving up a couple weight classes.
Oh yeah.
How has that played into the differences?
Yeah, I mean that has played in a lot, but I thought we were speaking wrestling. I guess that is, yeah. Yeah, it helped. It's helped a lot. I mean, I was cutting a fair bit of weight at 57. I definitely did not enjoy wrestling as much, and I think that was the biggest impact, was just not enjoying wrestling. I think when you enjoy the thing you do and you're passionate about it, you're gonna excel and get better and better every single day. So it's just like a job, if you go to a job and you're like, screw this, I don't be here, you're not going to get anything out of it. But I think, yeah, the weight class has been huge. I've been getting big, enjoying my life, being able to eat. And the thing is I don't eat crap. So the one thing about being at 57 was I learned a proper diet. I ate like I ate really bad, and being at 74, I keep my diet, but I just eat a lot of good things. And that keeps me lean, and it keeps me fast, and it keeps me strong. And yeah, it's helped a lot. But I
you got to feel better overall too, not eating crap,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a day out in practice. Like at 57, I would be hurting for 4 days out from competition. Like I'd really have to convince myself, like, man, you got to, you know what I mean? I'd have to convince myself to work hard. But now at 74, I feel good coming into practice every single day, even the day before. And I'm there to get better at wrestling. I'm not there to lose weight. I'm there to get better at wrestling every single day. And especially when you're wrestling every single weekend, if I'm coming in just to lose weight every single day, I'm not getting better. I'm staying stagnant. When I'm coming in every single day to actually improve my skills, and the weight will come along with it, then I'm getting better every single day. And with a season like this where you don't have time where you're just not making weight. There's a couple weeks where you're not making weight, but usually you're making weight. So, yeah.
One last thing before I let Jordon, I know he's got questions too, but is this the final stop, you think, or you think you'll end up bigger before the end?
I think I'll end up bigger. Yeah.
Makes
sense.
I
mean, I got skinny legs still. These legs can definitely grow in size, but
you're not skipping leg day though.
No, I'm not skipping leg day. I just naturally skinny legs, but I do think I'll be up higher. But yeah, I think for the next 2 years, or probably this year and next year for sure, I'll definitely be at 74. But yeah, I don't think I'll be at 74 forever. But
Cade DeVos, the heavyweight.
Yeah,
I love watching heavyweights. I'd love that. I'd love it.
I got to be eating some cheeseburgers and ice cream every night for that. Man, I could do it. It's possible. I might be slow, but
I don't know if you'd get slow. So I want you to kind of explain this to people. You come in as a red shirt your first year. You're red shirting, which you still get to wrestle. You go out and you put 26 matches or so on the books. You go 22-4. That's a lot of opens and stuff like that. So like the competition is a little bit lower. But you go into Midlands, you lose your first round. If I remember right, your dad got kicked out of the corner for wearing sweatpants, and
yeah, I was coach of this.
Blowing up because he's wearing sweatpants, and you come back, you and wrestle your way back up to an 8th at Midlands, and like that's really I think when a lot of SDSU fans, like we knew you recruiting you as a 2-time state champ and stuff like that, but that's really when you came on, and then you come into your redshirt freshman year, which was last year, or COVID year, whichever you want to call it, and you know, you go 11 or you go 14-11 on the year. Like, why? Can you kind of explain like what the things like? Obviously, we all want to say you got better from that first season to second season. Why does your record kind of show different there?
I think, well, one thing is the competition. The competition was great. I mean, I wrestled David Carr twice. I wrestled Frantic twice. I wrestled a lot of good guys. Justin Thomas. I wrestled, a lot of guys that were really good. And I mean, I'm not saying I definitely didn't perform the way I wanted to, and I do think I could have performed a lot better. But I think the weight was probably a big factor. But I also think it was I wasn't able to get that much better during the season because I wrestled at I wrestled at UWW Juniors in November and took second to Bernie Traux, who got 4th at 74, and I wrestled 57 in 2 months later. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm not blaming it on that. I do think that I definitely, could have done things better, and just mental training, things like that. But competition is definitely huge. Yeah, but that's it. That's really it.
Now that we know that your dad's listening right now, say here for a minute.
I saw that. It kind of made me stop talking for a bit.
Is there one of them matches? It should have been 15-10 there, right, Jeremiah? Thanks to Frank, I believe, right? But
I got a Jeremiah moment coming up, so we'll hold that off for a little bit. Brock Gulseth here asked if we're totally stoked for Sunday. Oh no, he's making a statement. I'm sorry. We love to get. What's that?
I'm stoked too. So
yeah, it's good to have wrestling back in Frost, right?
Yeah, Brookings. I don't have to travel everywhere. Just wrestle.
I don't know if I can actually go because like the other person that resides in my house that I'm married to got COVID on Tuesday, and I'm negative right now, but so yeah, I don't know about that.
So Matthew put on here and said sweatpants. I don't know, Cade, do you know this rule? Do you want to explain this rule? I mean, Cody explained it to me once, but I don't know if you know any better on how it's written or whatever.
Yeah, so basically in the corner, when I was at Midlands, I was unattached, so I couldn't have an actual coach in the corner, and my dad had to be in the corner. But I guess the rule is that you have to have khakis on, and you can't have like jeans or sweatpants. So my dad had jeans. We got like with the first couple matches, I think, and then or maybe it was just the first match. Then like the second match, I think he got yelled at for having jeans and kicked out mid-match. And then like the third match, he said, "Oh, I can't use jeans. I'll put on sweatpants then," because he didn't know the rule. And then he got kicked out using sweatpants. So after that, it was basically he was just yelling from the side anyway. So he was still basically I could still hear him. So yeah.
Yeah. I know that you can't wear sweatpants, you can't wear hats. Like, there's a bunch of different rules in the rule book about them open tournaments that nobody really knows. I mean, I
don't understand what they're trying to accomplish with some of that. I mean, I guess khakis look nicer, but a nice pair of blue jeans, no holes, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it might have been that some true freshman was beating up on some kids that didn't expect to get beat up on in that tournament either, and they weren't happy.
Tell me what it was like at the national tournament when you went there.
It was fun. I mean, I was pretty down. I didn't wrestle as good as I wanted to. I really do think I could All-American. Still now, I think I think I was 2 matches away. I mean, I would have got a medical forfeit in the blood round. So, yeah, I think just my mental state wasn't as good. I really thought that I knew I didn't really want to be there as much as I should have. If that makes sense. I wasn't excited as I should have been. But after I got beat out, I was pretty down for a day. But after that, like I had my fun, and St. Louis is awesome. It was a fun place, good wrestling, and I enjoyed my time there. I really did. But
what were the allowances? I mean, they do allowances on those matches, right?
Yeah, I think
couple pounds.
I think it's just a pound. I think it's a pound per day, I believe.
Pound per day. So okay, as you go on, yeah, that makes sense.
I keep hitting the wrong button on my computer. Sorry about that, everybody. But so you obviously didn't All-American last year. But when you look back on it now, I mean, you're an NCAA qualifier. You took an at-large bid. You got 4th at the Big 12s. You were an NWCA Scholar All-American. You were first team All Big 12 academic wrestler. What would you consider last year a success with it being COVID and not actually going towards one of your 4 years of competition or counting towards one of your 4 years of competition?
I would in certain aspects. Wrestling wise, I wouldn't say it's a success. I think I learned a lot. Life wise, definitely a success. Life wise, like I said, like my diet, I'm big on health now, and I think if I would have never had to make 57, I would have never ever been big on health and dieting. So life wise, I do think it helped me. I mean, wrestling wise, I didn't get what I wanted, but I do think I learned a lot, obviously. But yeah, I do think I would consider it. I would consider it a success in some points. If that makes sense.
Speaking of not getting everything you want in wrestling, I'm going to take you back a little bit to last season. I got the chance to go to NDSU and hung out with your dad there. He's pretty intense during the matches. He wasn't happy with the outcome, and I'm sure you weren't either. But tell me, you got a funny story about Jeremiah since he's on here? Something that you can share?
I don't know. A lot of his stories are rated M, if you know what I'm saying. But he's got a lot of stories. I got a lot of stories with him. I've been with him since I was young, so going to every tournaments and all these things. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. So, there's a lot of funny Jeremiah stories, but I don't really have one on the top of my head right now.
He's pretty loud in the crowd, don't you think? I mean, you got to hear him most matches, right?
Yeah, I still hear him, even though it's not, he's not on the chair, but I definitely still hear him. It's certain moments too. Like sometimes it's usually like during breaks I'll hear him, but yeah, he definitely gets rowdy up there.
It's fair.
So you last summer, was it last summer's when you went and won the gold in freestyle, right? It was freestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So last summer you went and you won the gold in the men's freestyle at the Cadet and Junior Pan American Championships. Can you explain what that was like in the ride that it took you on down to Mexico and all that fun stuff?
Yeah. So it was a mess, the traveling. Yeah, you get into it was fine on the way there until you get to the Mexico airport, and you don't speak English. You have Simez trying to translate everything next to you, and you're just like, okay, I'll just listen to you, But yeah, it's just once I got there, it was a hassle. We had to do like a 2-hour drive. I think maybe it's 3 hours, a 2 to 3 hour drive from the airport to the place we were staying at, which is like Octopec or something like that. was the place it was called. And man, like it just really made me appreciate living in America. I know that sounds like, I know like for some people, they don't think that, but living in America truly is like a blessing. And things were just all over the place, stray dogs, stray, people all over, houses just built on top of each other, no structure or order. And it was really just a mess. And the van I had to sit in was, it's just loaded with people. Like it wasn't even wrestling people, just people. It was so weird. And they had this like, what's that?
Oh, I was gonna say it sounded like you're lucky to even catch the van, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing too. Is like we had to be there on time, or actually, that's right. So we got to the airport and they were holding up signs for like they were going to take the U.S. wrestling team, right? So they held up like a Pan American USA sign for like, because they were going to transport us from the airport to the place. And like the first guy wasn't there that was supposed to be there. So we ended up waiting like another 2 hours or like an hour and a half for this guy. And we went with the second, like there was another flight bringing other people there. And we went with the second flight to like the van on the second flight. So we ended up waiting, an extra hour and a half for no reason. And yeah, like the van, I just remember the van was like real. It was, the roads were so rough. Like I would try to sleep and just like, you know what I mean? Like my head would be bouncing off the seat. And they had this like this TV on top of the van, and they would have to turn it off like every so often because like the power couldn't support it or something like that. So they had to like wait 15 minutes before they could turn it on so it could play another 20 minutes or something. And but once I got to the place, it was a blast. I really did enjoy it. The resort was sick. The wrestling was super fun. The guys were super fun. The coaches were awesome, and it was probably, it was one of my favorite places I've ever been because of the way the way it was run and the place I was at and the people I was with. So.
Did you guys wrestle on the resort, or did you have to go someplace else to wrestle?
No, so the wrestling mat, like the arena was like right next to the resort. So all you had to do was like walk, and the arena was right there. And yeah, it was like 2 mats in this arena, and like free electrolyte. They had electrolyte there, and it was a pretty cool place.
What's one of your maybe favorite wrestling memories? I mean, I guess it could be from high school or whatever.
I think one of my favorite wrestling memories was probably winning my state championship junior year. But like looking back at it now, it was more of the emotion, if that makes sense. It was one of my favorite emotional wrestling stories because obviously, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, I don't think that's not a proud achievement for me as much as like the achievements I want to accomplish. But it was definitely super emotional, and just I went through a lot of adversity in high school, especially my first 2 years, and getting it done was pretty special, and I think that's probably one of my favorite memories. But my second would probably be I'd say Mexico. I know it's weird because I hated the place, but it was really fun. But the place sucked, but the event was super fun. So.
So, what is it like to wrestle in Frost compared to other places that you guys travel to and wrestle to or at?
I honestly think Frost is probably one of the. It gets loud in there, and it's crazy. I mean, I haven't wrestled a duel yet because I didn't wrestle at Augustana because I was hurt. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to wrestle. This is gonna be my first. Oh, I guess it's not my. I mean, it's gonna be my first duel, really, because the COVID year, the duels weren't the same. The lights were on. You didn't have walkout music. You didn't have fans cheering. So, I'm really excited. But I know from watching people walk out in Frost, it definitely looks like a fun time, and it's loud. It gets really loud.
So, yeah, I didn't even think about that on how this is going to be your first time in a true duel. And what a weekend to come out and go there with your Wyoming guy. It'll be a nice first break-in duel for you there, which we'll touch on later about your Wyoming match coming up here. But so what is so when we had Clay on here a couple weeks ago, a month ago now or whatever, he was talking about like kind of like a hit list or like people that he wants to rematch against or like people that he wants to wrestle in life to beat. I know Red was one of them from Nebraska for him. Unfortunately, that got canceled due to COVID. Do you have a hit list or people that you look forward to wrestling or people that you want to get a rematch with because you think you can do better?
I would say my hit list is anyone that it takes to be a national champ. That's my hit list. But I mean, I don't really look at, people I want to wrestle. I don't really hate anyone, you know what I mean, that I wrestle. It's more of this is a respect sport. So I think just anyone that steps on the mat, I'm just wrestling another guy. So it's just anyone that steps on the mat, I'm going to wrestle to win,
But you got to have a couple matches that you felt slip away that you'd like to go back out and
get
the W
I think
you should get.
Yeah, I think like the Nebraska match, I can definitely win that one. The Cornell match, the Vegas, both the Vegas matches, I really do feel like I'm better wrestler than that, and I got put in bad situations, a lot of bottom work, right? Like I was telling you guys, it takes college is a lot of bottom work, and I'm still young and I'm still learning, but that's definitely where I've been working on this past little while is bottom because I lost both my matches in Vegas because of that. So
I know I'm just asking quick hitter questions here, but favorite coach and who is it?
Man, this one's tough. I love Simez because Simez is Simon. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I just love his personality. He actually seriously does care. Cody's funny. I love Cody. I love them all, but I would say wrestling wise, probably the ones that have helped me the most is Simez, my first 2 years, and then both Simez and Bergie. Like right now, are probably helping me the most. But I mean, the thing about our coaches is they're all good for they all have their traits. You know what I mean? And it just combines perfectly. It's really hard to explain unless you're here, but that they just combine so well, and I think it elevates everything.
So we have Brock here. He wrote in and asked, what are your thoughts and what is the excitement in the room about the new facilities coming to Brookings?
Yeah, obviously it's awesome, right? Like a $5 million facility versus our dump that we have right now. And it's funny because this, like when I was recruited, this is probably one of the worst rooms we have, or one of the worst rooms in college wrestling is the one we have. And I think that hurts recruiting a lot because nowadays people want the big fancy things. They want the expensive things. They want the nutrition bar. They want the nice facilities, all that. And it's nice to have that, but really you got to look at the people. And I think that was why I came here. That was the most important thing for me. But obviously the facility is huge, especially for recruits, top recruits, getting recruits in. And it's going to be awesome being able to, wrestle in a nice facility, a nice place. And it's hard to say the excitement now, but when that thing goes up, I'll be pretty excited when I'm actually being able to look at it. So
have you been over there to visit it and see how the progress is going?
Yeah, the progress is not good right now. I'll tell you, the progress is not good because of the winter. But yeah, I went there. I go to the S-Jack. It's right next to the S-Jack. So when I go lift, I look out the window and all I see is white ground right now. So
and that'll be pretty convenient too to be right there next to the S-Jack.
Oh yeah, that's another thing is like you got the cold tubs, the hot tubs, all S-Jack it's one of the best indoor facilities, and it's awesome to have that next to your $5 million facility that's just for wrestling. You know what I mean? So it's going to be sweet not having to walk from Frost, going to S-Jack, go to Frost, go to S-Jack, just being at S-Jack and wrestling at Frost when it's time to wrestle.
Yeah, those out there wondering, just go ahead and write out your checks to Jackrabbit Wrestling. So,
oh, yeah.
They're still taking donations.
We are taking donations, that's for sure. We can always get better.
So, in the past when we've had other wrestlers on and coaches on and stuff, they always say that you guys try and start practice out every day with a joke or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Me knowing you pretty personally, I know you're a pretty funny guy. So I want to hear your go-to joke in practice when you got to drop a joke.
Oof. Okay, so the thing is about my jokes, I usually attack people like Han, so they get a little personal, and they're really not PG-13. And I'm not trying to get canceled, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of cancel culture going on, so I think I'm gonna sit this one out. But
all right, no bad dad jokes or anything you want to tell?
I mean, I can maybe try to think of one as we go.
I'll tell a terrible one so everybody
Okay.
can boo me. You know your nose grows your entire life. That's a fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that? Do you know why it can't grow to 12 inches?
Why?
Because then it'd be a foot. All right, moving on.
That's a good one.
Who's your training partner?
I train with everyone. I wrestle. There's guys for certain days, right? Like some days when you want to drill with someone who knows how to drill, you'll go with different people. But I like wrestling with coaches a lot, as much as I can, just because they push me, and I actually have to keep pushing and keep being gritty and all these different things, because if I don't, Simon's gonna pin me 12 times. So I think the coaches is probably my favorite like people to go with, but I like everyone on our team. I mean, I'm not shying away from everyone to be a drill partner. If they want, I usually don't really ask for guys first. I'll kind of wait, but yeah, I mean, I'm just wrestling to get better. It doesn't really matter who it is.
Who's the toughest guy that you wrestle against? Is it one of the coaches?
Definitely Simons and Berge are the best guys for sure.
Well, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about our sponsors. We're sponsored by Drake's Place, which is a convenience and gas store up in Bottle, South Dakota. So if you ever get up there, it's a great place. They have excellent food. And Cottonwood Coffee is also a title sponsor. And I know we were talking about that a little bit before we came on. They have cottonwood.com. You can go order their coffee and have it at home, even if you don't live in Brookings. And so with that, I think Jordon wants to talk a little more.
Yeah, so I got one more question here before we go on. This is going to lead into this whole thing. Do you ever wrestle Tanner Cook in practice?
Yeah, I wrestle him a few times. Not too often.
Do you shoot with your head down and get tossed like crazy? Like
no, I'm a low. What's that?
So do you get tossed like the teddy bears are going to get tossed on Sunday?
He got me with it first a lot my freshman year. But now, I mean, I tack low now, and I'm pretty quick to my finishes. So, yeah, I mean, I used to get tossed around, but I mean, he's still really good at what he does. You know what I mean? Like, he definitely will get you in it still.
So, as I kind of just touched on there about that, on Sunday we got a try in town here against Wyoming and Northern Iowa. It's the annual teddy bear toss. The first 150 people with a teddy bear or unopened toys will get a sticker. That will start at 11:30. The first duel does start at 11, but we're gonna wait and they're gonna wait and do it an hour before SDSU stuff. So the toss is gonna be at intermission of the Wyoming SDSU duel, and all the donations will benefit to the Sanford Cure Kids Cancer at the Sanford Children's Hospital in Sioux Falls. Or also known as the Castle. So please bring your animals and let's toss some teddy bears and hopefully see the Jackrabbits also toss some Panthers and some Cowboys.
And I think to win, you have to be closest to the center?
I don't think we do. I don't think they do that. I think This one, everyone just tosses the teddy bears at the time. I guess I haven't seen anything about being the closest to the center or anything like that. I know the basketball does that with basketballs and stuff like that, but I've not seen anything about that year with the teddy bears and stuff like that. I have not talked to the coaches or anything like that this week about any promotions because the paper don't have me writing until a post story. So I did not do any interviews or anything leading up to this week for that. So I'm not 100% sure. And the Rabbit Den hasn't met with Christmas break and everything. So I don't know the whole insides of this
That's fair.
promotion, but
That's fair. I mean, I didn't know if they had a winner. I didn't see anything about it either. So Wyoming's at 12:30. We'll have 5 ranked matches at 141, 165 at 174, obviously. 197 again and at heavyweight. And then, like you said, that teddy bear toss follows that at half.
yes. And then if you want to come out early at 11 o'clock, Wyoming and Northern Iowa are going to duel. Obviously, it's all one price to get in. That's also going to have 5 ranked matches or potential 5 double ranked matches. And their matches will be at 41, 65, 74, 84, and heavyweight. And then the Jackrabbits will take on Northern Iowa after the Wyoming duel. So that'll be at 2 o'clock. And that one will also have a potential of 4 ranked matchups. And that'll be at 41, 65, 74, and heavyweight again.
Yeah, and I know Coach talked about on his weekly update that we might have some extra matches too. So yeah, nothing wrong with getting there early and getting your seat and getting something to see. And you know,
as you guys have heard me say since the beginning, the first duel this year we had 869 people. It was a Division 1 versus D2 early in the year. Everything. I'm going to cry out one more time. Last time you guys are going to hear me say this before Sunday, at least on the podcast. I'll probably tweet it out a couple more times. But bring a friend. Let's get to 1,738 fans. You bring one fan, then we just continue to grow. Tickets are still available. I looked at the GoJacks website. It's $25 for an adult for Saturday or Sunday. Sorry, for all 3 duels. $25 get in, plus a $2 fee if you buy online. Kids are $15 with a $2 fee. So for $27, an adult can get in. For $17, kids can get in. I also believe that we do have tickets for sale at the door. And so come enjoy some wrestling. Both Wyoming and Northern Iowa are right in that top 20 for dual rankings. We're right on the outside. We'll touch on that here in a little bit. But it's going to be 3 extremely good duels. You're going to see a lot of good wrestling, scrambling. Kids are going to get to learn some fun things. And it's going to be a heck of a duel. I don't know, Cade, you got any things to say about it to try and get people to show up that are on the fence right now?
If you enjoy wrestling, come. If you enjoy it, come watch it. It's gonna be a lot of good wrestling. So
I like the idea your dad has here below about tailgating, and Matt Kasperbauer agrees too. I don't know what the legalities are with that because I know that's something that's specifically allowed by Board of Regents vote. I think for football, but this is a good idea. I think we should be able to sit out in the cold and maybe throw up an ice shack or something to warm up and have a few cold ones. You just have to set them outside for an hour before, right? So SDSU versus Wyoming will have Tanner Jordon versus Jake Shivel. Wow, I probably pronounced that wrong. And then following that, we got as a rematch, right? So
yes, these will be rematches of matches that already happened this year.
I forgot to mention it's a rematch, and Tanner won that match 5-2. So,
and then at 174, the man, number 11 in the nation, Cade DeVos, will be taking on number 12 in the nation, Hayden Hastings. Cade, you wrestled this kid here in Vegas back in December and came with a 7-4 victory there. How do you prepare for a rematch and getting ready since you've already competed against him once just a month ago or so?
Well, I think So I think like before I wrestled him the first time, obviously I hadn't wrestled him before, and Bergie told me basically a few things that he was gonna do, but I think it's just really just sticking to your stuff and going into your ties and not really worrying about what the other guy's gonna do, because sometimes when you overthink that, you don't wrestle the way you should be wrestling. But yeah, I mean, I've already I wrestled the way I did. I'll probably stick to the same strategy. So,
except for you said you were going to try and score more points, right?
yes, I will try. I will try
decision.
to score more points. But that's something I need to do.
Just trying to encourage you on that.
Mm-hmm.
So then we'll wrestle for other rematches against Northern Iowa. We'll have Tanner Jordon again, wrestling number 16, Brody Teskey. Of course, unfortunately, he lost that one 2 minutes and 20 seconds in. And then
at 133, we could possibly see Caleb Gross. He could be going up against Kyle Biscologia. I totally butchered that, but
yeah, it's a tough
sorry
name.
there, Kyle. But Gross lost to him 4-1 earlier in the season.
And we got Kenny O'Neill at 157 versus Derek Holschlag. Hopefully we can get a win there. That was a tough match. Kenny lost 10-0.
At 184, you'll see a possibility of Cade King taking on number 4 in the country, Parker Ketazine. And how do you say it, Cade?
The 33 is Kyle Biscaglia. This 84 is Parker Kekaisen.
These must all be Iowa kids.
I was going to say they're probably Iowa kids, right?
Well, one's Wisconsin. The 84 pounder is a Wisconsin kid. So
he's a Wisconsin kid. Mm-hmm. And he defeated Cade King 6-0 earlier in the year.
And then at 197, I think we'll have Nick wrestling probably. He beat Noah Glaser 12-7. Now, your opponent is a kid that your likely opponent, I guess, because we never really know in wrestling. He's a kid out of Illinois?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't really know much about him, but
Pat Schoenfelder is who's expected to wrestle there.
Mm-hmm.
I think you get the W, buddy. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I know Jordon wants to talk about rankings, so go right ahead, buddy.
Before we go on to rankings, I see that Brock wrote another question in here. Do you want to pull that up?
My bad. Sorry.
There, and we'll talk about this quick. He says there's quite a few Fort Dodge kids that go to UNI. Any of these kids you grew up wrestling with or against?
Oh yeah, I know all those Fort Dodge kids. Yeah, they're good guys. I mean, I wrestled Bennett, Drew Bennett a few times. I wrestled, with Teskey. I wrestled Cade Lara, obviously, he's a Fort Dodge kid. I mean, I know them all pretty well because of like the Team Iowa dual team. So I've gotten, I would consider them my friends. So I mean, I know them all pretty well.
And there's got to be. Is there anyone from over by Cody's neck of the woods? There's got to be one or two, right?
That I know. Yeah, I know a few guys. Like I knew Roy Ball when he came in, but I don't know. There's not a lot of. I guess there's not a lot of Waverly kids I know. My cousin went to high school there, but I mean I know Cody pretty well, but
they wrestle at a different division than you, right? You were 3A, and
no, Waverly's 3A too, but
are they?
The thing with Fort Dodge is they're in the same conference.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. We don't usually wrestle Waverly until like the state tournament.
Fort Dodge isn't really all that close. That's a trek.
Yeah.
So, I know me personally, I got to travel with the team down to UNI in 19. Last year was COVID, but the UNI duel is always a dual I circle because Cody and the team recruits heavily out of there. I know that you guys all know each other and everything. Is that something you guys circle or really want to beat UNI for, or how do you go into that duel looking at that?
Cody always wants to beat UNI, and I mean we do too, but it's just another duel, and we do want to win obviously, and we're going to try to win, but I think we definitely can win that duel.
So then now we'll get into rankings here, and so full rankings came out this week. We lost a couple guys that were honorable mentions. They fell out. Expect them to bounce back up now that Big 12 starting. We'll see some stiff competition. Expect to get some wins with some familiar people. But we still got 5 out of our 10 wrestlers recognized in the rankings. At 141, we have Clay Carlson. He's 6th with Flow, and he's 11th on Intermat.
And then at 165, we got Cook. Tanner's honorable mention on Flow and 24th on Intermat.
At 74, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Cade DeVos, and he is number 11th on every ranking that I can find for wrestling right now. So that's pretty steady. You don't see that too often there.
No, not in wrestling rankings. At 197, we got Tanner Sloan. He's 24th on the Flow Wrestling and 21st on Intermat.
And then we got AJ Neville's at heavyweight. He's 23rd on Flow, on Flow and 24th on Intermat.
And the team's coming in on a tournament team ranking of 26th. So,
and then wrestling stat, they have the team and the dual, or the tournament and the dual team both ranked 29th.
Got some Blair Witch Project going on over there. Sorry, Cade. So how much as a wrestler do you look at rankings, Cade? Oh, lights went out too.
No, yeah, I had to put my charger in. I was trying to be discreet about it, but
sorry, no worries.
No, what's that? Sorry.
As a wrestler, how much do you normally look at the rankings, or do you just kind of blow that off and it's not such a thing?
It's hard. You're supposed to blow it off, right? But it's really hard to, especially when it's pretty cool when you're ranked pretty high. Obviously, that it's a little bit of a confidence booster, but I would say, as a grand scheme of things, you should probably blow them off because everyone at this level is really good. Everyone, there's upsets all the time, and obviously the upsets that matter are the upsets in March. But I usually try to blow them off and not really look at them because, one bad day you could lose a bad match, but then one good day you could win a match you're not supposed to win. So
we'll go on now to talk about our weekly picks here. And we had no picks last week since our last show, as it was just a tournament. So just a reminder, Chad's up 2-1 and 2 on me in the rankings, and then he's got 55 total points. I got 54. Check in with us Sunday morning on the Dakota Scouting Report Twitter page for our picks, as I'll be posting them Sunday morning. You can go ahead and read them as you drink your Cottonwood coffee on Sunday morning and enjoy the picks.
And we got Clay Carlson was the South Dakota State easy for me to say, Delta Dental Student Athlete of the Month. So that's a pretty big deal.
Yes, that is huge. Clay had a great month and has had a great year overall.
Really, he's been wrestling well. Yep.
Unfortunately, dropped that semifinals match, but that's a kid that always wrestles him tough, and he always wrestles that tough. But we'll get to see a rematch there coming up in a couple weeks, hopefully. I just want to remind everybody that every Wednesday at Cubby's, they do luncheons. You get to go in, eat some lunch. Coaches will give you a little rundown of what's going on and all that fun things and little inside there. So that is every Wednesday at noon. Check out their Twitter or Facebook page, and they will keep you posted on that kind of stuff.
We also got Big 12 tickets on sale now on gojacks.com. Cade, you ever been down there with the fans to enjoy that yourself? Tell me about it. I think you've been down there, haven't you? Oh, and we got no sound. Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, there we go. No, we're
sorry.
Good. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I've been to Big 12s. I think I've been to Big 10s. I haven't been to Big 12, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, yeah, I wasn't there my freshman year.
The box
when I was redshirting, but I did watch that online. But I've been to Big 10s. It's pretty good tournament, obviously. Yeah.
I see your poster boy this year so far. About 12 ticket sales there.
That's a good picture.
Out of you.
Yeah.
Do you hand that out looking for dates, or?
I should start, huh?
Protein shake shops, start handing out your flyers.
Whatever works, man.
I need to be sponsored by some protein shakes. They're so expensive. All the store-bought ones are way too expensive.
Well, they used to have an in with EAS. One of the doctors there was buddies with the guy that founded that company, but it got sold off to Abbott Labs, so I don't think that's the case anymore.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be sponsored by a protein shake place.
Yeah.
And then just a reminder, the 4th annual Jackrabbit Wrestling Club raffle and silent auction is January 29th from 4 to 9 at the 9 bar. One person will be going home with $10,000. It is $250 for you plus a guest to get in. It is all you can eat and complimentary drinks. I believe there's still sponsorships available. Feel free to reach out to the coaches if you want to do that. And you can purchase them tickets at the jackrabbitwrestlingclub.com. Cade, can you go on and kind of explain to us what the Jackrabbit Wrestling Club is and what the sponsorships helps do with you guys?
Yeah, so the Jackrabbit Wrestling Club is basically, all the things that we can get, like such as like bikes and just things to help the quality of life as a wrestler. Just the new things, singlets, gear, stuff like that. So obviously supporting Jackrabbit Wrestling helps the wrestlers a lot, and any amount of money helps.
And that helps for like your trips, like when you had to go to the Pan American Games.
Yep.
Right?
So like when I had to go to Pan Americans, they paid for that through Jackrabbit Wrestling. So it helps us, get these opportunities that, some kids don't get and would have to, maybe, some kids don't have the money to do things and go experience. Like I said, Mexico was one of my favorite trips, but if I didn't have the Jackrabbit Wrestling Club, would I have been able to experience it? So.
Well, Cade, thanks so much for your time. You've been very generous. We're at a little over an hour. So can we get jacked on 3? 3, 2,
What's
1.
that?
Get jacked.
Get jacked. Oh yeah, I got you.
Jacked.
Sorry, I was trying to end the show. Yeah, let's try it again.
No, I got
3.
this, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Get jacked.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's not gonna. Hold on.